Welcome back to LinkedIn Logs, my journey to becoming a LinkedIn influencer. I'm your host, Chad White. This is episode 9 of the LinkedIn Logs. As I talk and as the theme song fades out on its own without me having to do anything about it, I'm here to tell you more about this show. Episode 9. I don't know why I was doing a character or a voice. Oh boy. I can't believe it's been 9 episodes of this, not including that's not the amount of time I've been without a full-time position. That is just half the time, more than likely, right? Because anyway, January. Here we are. What are we doing today? Okay, so what just happened was Disney laid off about 7,000 people, right? I think that's either that's the amount of people they're looking to lay off, or it's just the amount that's happened. So this is the first round of 3 layoffs. And yes, it's according to CNBC, Alex Sherman writes, Disney layoffs will begin this week. CEO Bob Iger says in memo, this is published on Monday, March 27th. This is the first of 3 rounds of cuts that will amount to 7,000 job losses. Now, we lost when Disney acquired Fox assets. We lost about how many jobs? Like 15,000 Disney Fox acquisition jobs lost. I think it was definitely more. I think it was 9,000 jobs. I believe so. That's a lot of jobs. That's a lot of jobs people have lost in order to fulfill these whatchamacallit. And that's across right now, I believe it is they plan to cut $5.5 billion in costs, including $3 billion in content spend. Same thing that Warner was doing last year when they said that this was over. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, across the company, hitting Disney's media and distribution division, parks and resorts. So it's everything from TV to parks and everything in between. In fact, I believe the head of Marvel, the guy who was in charge of the whole Marvel Disney deal in the early 2000s, or 2010 or 2000s rather, he's been ousted, as well as this was not part of it. I don't think so, but the woman who was Marvel exec fired, who was what is her name? Let's see. Let me find it. Victoria Alonso, who was fired because she promoted a movie that was not a Disney movie that she worked on. I'm gonna go to out.com. She says the movie was a documentary, Argentina 1985, that she co-produced rather, with Amazon Studios. And she was let go. But she thinks that's because things that she stood up for in the company, such as the Ant-Man, I guess there was some gay activity in Ant-Man that other countries, other places around the world, like Kuwait, wanted to gay activity. Come on. I couldn't let that one slip by. That Kuwait didn't want to air the movie, and I guess Disney acquiesced. But she's apparently been a big advocate for queer lifestyles represented in Marvel movies. It's so crazy that, you know, even thinking back to Bob Chapek's slow response to the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida. That we're still fighting about this, when aliens could come down at any point in this period in time and go, you guys are still fighting about this? There's a friggin' monster about to eat your planet. They ate our planet. Seriously. So Disney, like Warner Bros. Discovery, is laying off a ton of people. They might sell Hulu, and this has been known for the past couple of weeks. Bob Iger returned to the Disney fold to run it after Chapek was ousted by the board, and he says all week long. He said in the memo, we know we have a 7,000 job cut target. And I mean, even still, Warner and other companies, Amazon, Apple, Meta, and other big tech companies, and even other big media companies, Paramount, and even regular companies, they can have these layoffs, but then even moving forward, as we've seen with Warner and Amazon and Meta, that the layoffs, that in any round of layoffs, they can say this is the last time. In 4 months, they could be like, all right, well, we need to lose another 700 jobs, which is unfortunate to have. You have these dreams, like a lot of people. Someone might want to grow up and be an accountant, and they have these dreams, and then they become an accountant for Silicon Valley Bank. I couldn't think of anything fast enough. They become an accountant for GameStop, and then now they're up a creek without a paddle because they can't really fulfill their jobs, anything like that. Although it is funny or interesting when I see when I go to LinkedIn, as fake as this social media site is, and that's what it is, a social media site. It's not a job tool or job searching platform. It's a social media site. Every time I come here, all day yesterday, all I was seeing was excuse me. All I was seeing was people post, "Oh, it's been 2 weeks, 2 weeks and 7 job applications and countless hours of sadness. And I finally landed that position. I'm so excited and happy to announce that I've gotten my dream job at Flurgers Blurgers." It's ridiculous. It's stuff like that that pisses me off. Obviously, that's a person, who will get severance, which is every single person that is on. I'm looking at my LinkedIn feed right now. That person is getting severance from their last job, and they've been at like I saw a guy yesterday who was like, unfortunately, I was one of the guys laid off, one of the people laid off at Meta yesterday. I've had 10 plus years more experience than than the top 99% or 90th percentile of the company, which means I've been there the longest amount of time, and I'm open to work, so please keep me in your hearts. It is just so. What is the word I'm looking for? Like they can't. It's hollow. It's shallow messaging. It's stupid. All of you are stupid. Everyone on LinkedIn is the dumbest idiot I've seen in my life, and I hope to one day meet each and every one of my couple hundred of connections and punch them in the square in the friggin' jaw. I almost said the F word. This is a clean show. Everybody thinks it's so easy to get a job. Now, how do people get jobs? How do people get jobs? Well, I googled the words "how to get a job," and according to the find a job section on USA.gov, this is what the show has come to. You plan your job search, you write resumes and cover letters, you fill out applications, and then you create a career network. And then you interview for a job and negotiate your salary. Every single job you interview for, you negotiate your salary. It's a part-time job. You sit down, they say, we can only offer you $11 an hour. You go, I want 40. Oh my God. Harvard Business Review has a 5-week guide to getting a job. And the first thing is week 1, update your resume to highlight transferable job skills. See, this is the stuff no one understands. And if you say you understand it, you're lying. You're a bold-faced liar, and God does not like liars. You're going to hell. It's insane. I don't think there's not one way to just. I'm looking. Someone just liked a post from Tim Tebow Foundation. This woman who I don't even know, who was on my LinkedIn. And the tweet that was posted on the LinkedIn Tim Tebow Foundation LinkedIn is people will know it's Tim Tebow, obviously. People will know you are a Christian by your love, not just by a t-shirt or a social media post, but by how you love others. And I just want to slap my entire screen right now. Why is this on my LinkedIn? I'm serious. But no one knows, no one has the right answer on how to get a job. And and again, if you say you do, you're lying. All I want to see on LinkedIn is posts about job openings. If I see any mental health thing, I'm gonna start calling people out. Maybe I should start calling people out. I think that'd be very fun. I think that'd be hilarious. Yeah, look, I scrolled down. There's another woman who posts about her layoff from Meta. I'm not gonna say her name. Oh, she's been there a minute, full time. Never mind. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. Anyway, there's that. That's how to get a job. What else do I have in a friggin' docket? Oh, commuting slash working from home. Let's see, commuting slash working from home. I prefer. I work. Okay, so I read stories sometimes on the New York Times that people who live, particularly, I've seen this story a lot of times, in the San Francisco Bay Area, people who commute to their mostly tech jobs in the San Francisco area, and they live outside the city. So there's these super commuters, I guess what they're called, and I mean the same thing can be said about Manhattan. People who come from Connecticut and go to Manhattan, or Pennsylvania, the surrounding area of the Northeast. And it is so crazy to me that I mean it makes sense, but it's so crazy to, in this day and age where people are being priced out of homes and in the San Francisco area, and they're unable to or any area, and they're unable and they have to work in that area, and they're unable to afford places, and they have to wake up at 4 a.m. crack of dawn, 5 a.m. and get ready, take a bus, take a train, drive to work. I mean, what was I looking at last week that I saw? There's some people who, or I was listening to rather, a podcast talking about how some people take an hour and a half, 2 hours, and they drive to work, and they pop in. No, I was reading a story in New York Times, and there's this one doctor who worked. Oh, anyway, let me finish that anecdote. They pop into work, 2-3 times a week, and then they go. They rent they have a hotel there or whatever, and then they drive back, or have a apartment. The same thing. The story I'm talking about is about a doctor. I believe he is let's pretend dentist. I don't think he's a dentist, but I think he might be a doctor, body doc. And he and his family moved from the LA area to Arizona, and he flies in. They have a studio apartment there in LA, and he flies in once a week or so to work in the office, and then he goes home and he works remotely and does his calls from there. I mean, that's great for them, but I think there's been a large switch to people working from home. I think hybrid is the way to go, and there shouldn't be a day where everybody has to be in office. Every meeting should be virtual. Every meeting you should be able to dial into a number and listen to it, as long as people remember to mute their phones. It's just, I mean, we have all this technology, and I don't think work necessarily gets done any better inside the office or outside of it, really. Whatever any BS statistic says, I don't think work gets done any better either way. I mean, sure, it's easier to walk up to somebody at their desk and be like, hey, where's that thing? But also, if you take forever to respond to an email, I don't care how many emails you have. If you take forever to respond to an email or Slack message, then you're the problem. It's not everybody. You're the problem. I respond to things immediately. Text messages, immediately. Emails about interviews immediately. Interviews for C plus comedy. I don't get any emails for it. We'll get to that in a second. And you know what's funny is I know that employers are not listening to or watching the show because I see the numbers, baby. And it's not like one person at Warner or Disney or Apple or Fox Broadcasting or Paramount. Is like if that many people were listening to this show, and if one person from each one of those companies was listening to this show, they'd, God willing, you got it. At some point, they got to be like, you know what? He's a little bit dedicated. So anyway, commuting to and from work, I just I had one job, the Bounce TV job, the EW Scripts job. Before the pandemic, I was driving to Buckhead, and I would get there 8:00 and then work, till 9 to 5, whatever. I would work that, and I hated that. When I was at the Weather Channel, it was like at 2 a.m. to, I don't know, 2 a.m. to something. It was 2 or 3 a.m. to 10 or 11, something along those lines. And that was fine. I don't want to do that again because I hate that company. Oh my God, burning bridges. But that was fine. And that was another job where I was like, hey, I'll work Christmas if you guys need me. I'll work New Year's Eve. I'll work whatever days you want me to work, because I thought that kind of dedication is what they wanted. And little did I know that it was not. And it was one manager who had a very big issue and who might have been a bigot. Anyway, and then when I was at 11 Alive WXIA, I also was like, hey, I'll work Thanksgiving, I'll work Christmas if you guys need it. And that was another job where they were crappy. And then that one was, and I lived in Roswell at the time, so I was driving 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes in traffic. It was 40 minutes in traffic to do this job. And then at some point I was like, listen, guys, they were paying me $10 an hour, and interns were making more than me, and I was working more than the interns. And I know this because an intern came up to me and was like, hey, can you help me fill out my timesheet? And I was helping her fill it out, and I went, this can't be right. And then when confronted about it, the guy in charge of me would not look me in the eye. What is it with these jobs that look at me? I know I have an intense eye starage when I talk to people in person, but don't be a bitch. That goes for somebody at EW Scripts and the Weather Channel as well. Anyway, but that's it. Those are the 3 jobs I hated. But I've worked every hour of every day essentially. I've thanks to working in a factory at UPS, I had to work. I've done 11:30 p.m. to 9 a.m. the next morning. Thanks to Weather Channel, I've done 2:30 to 11, 2:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. I've given everything, and I'm done commuting for people until they put out. That includes dates. I'm not dating anybody. Single. I have a cat. I don't have a job. How am I going to date people? All right, let's move on to this final topic. Bad rejection emails. Okay, so I thought about this morning, and because I got an email from a company that I got from two companies, but one company I thought I was going to get the job for. This is from SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design. This is the career page, but I applied to this job. They offered me an interview, not a traditional interview, but like a video interview where you record answers and you sit in front of your camera and they ask you very generic questions, things along the lines of, how would you equate the hardest thing you've done in your life to the hardest thing you've done in your job? Things along those lines. And that was so frustrating and so stupid. But I did it, and I gave them long answers. I filled up the whatever they wanted. And quite frankly, I'm much better when you give me questions relating to the thing instead of these broad questions. I would never sit down with somebody I'm interviewing, like a comedian or anything, and say like, uh, how happy does working in your job sector make you? You know, something so stupid and so broad. Anyway, the SCAD human resources, not even signed by a human being, but it does use first person. It just says, best regards, SCAD Human Resources. They said, I wanted to follow up with you after your video interview and thank you for allowing us the opportunity to get a better understanding of your experience and how it relates to the videographer position at SCAD. First of all, way too formal. Just say, hey, we thank you for the interview, but unfortunately, we don't have better candidates. The hiring committee. Now, this is something that really pissed me off. This is what triggered this entire staged this entire episode. The hiring committee was impressed with the work you have done during your career and has the highest regard for your contributions that you have made. Am I getting the job? However, no, I'm not. They have decided not to proceed any further with your candidacy at this time. SCAD. All I gotta say is F you. That is the most misleading email. That's like getting a text from a girl. It's like, hey, I had a really nice time with you. Oh wait, I've got this text for you. Hey, I've had a really nice time with you, and you're the greatest person, and I can't wait to spend more time with you, but I don't want to. That's exactly what SCAD is saying to me about this. I believe it was a videographer. Yeah, a videographer job, which is the dumbest. This is like that is such a misleading email that it didn't need to be written that way. It didn't need to have SCAD Human Resources sign it, but then write in first person and then write in third person and say we. You know, it's like that. I mean, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's just bad. There's another one I got from a company called Doorloop. I'm going to call these people out. I don't give a crap. I don't give a hoot. Doorloop, it was for an editing position. I think Doorloop is a company that does some stuff with software for building management. And I did this. I applied to be an editor. Then they're like, "Hey, why don't you take this editing test?" And I took the editing test. And it was involved me editing 2 minutes of a 10-minute video, and which means like the video was supposed to be 10 minutes. I'm sorry. They just wanted the first 2 minutes of the 10-minute video, and they gave you all this extraneous stuff, all these extraneous things that related to the latter halves of the video. And all they essentially wanted you to do was to throw in an intro and, throw in an intro. And then what else said you? Throw in a name tag, a lower third for the person, and include like two slides of things. But they gave you, I'm not kidding, all of their assets. I have every single one of their assets still sitting on my Mac right now, which was one of the most frustrating parts. But I got this email from Maria over at Doorloop. I'm not kidding. These are all the real names, all the real emails. Thank you for applying to Doorloop and for the time and effort you put into your awesome video submission. Wasn't that good? You are clearly very talented and hardworking. Again, like, come on. I don't need this false modesty. Don't just tell me. Just tell me. Don't try to build me up. That's not gonna help, and it's not gonna work, and I'm not gonna try to apply to that company anymore in the future. This was a difficult decision to make, but unfortunately, we have decided to go in another direction with a candidate that better match what we're looking for. Hey, why not move that up first? Don't try to and then they follow up with another lofty thing. Oh, we really appreciate your talent and taking the time to make it far in the process, and wish you all the best. Best regards. She did not even sign it. I only know Maria. I'm not going to say her last name, but it starts with a B. But she didn't even sign it. She didn't take this time to sign it. Her name is just in the top of the email, not in the subject line, but in the sent. What is going on where we can't even just I would rather much get an email that says, "Hey, you didn't get it, sucker. This is what you get for having hope." I'm looking to see if I have one more denial. I get denials all the time. In between all the bills. and the spam for uh, stuff. I don't know what's this, what are the things that I get? Fanatical. I got a uh, uh, coupon for Fanatical, which is where I buy games for Steam. I got Google Payments. The OnlyFans because I use my real email. The OnlyFans has been is linked to my personal email, obviously, because I have to sign in that way. It can't be linked to C Plus Comedy. Also, I don't want to get OnlyFans emails to C Plus Comedy. Oh, Athletic Greens. Let's see. Thank you for your time to submit an application for our producer, brand creative freelance opportunity. We sincerely appreciate your interest and potential career with Athletic Greens. Way too much. Our hiring team has received a very large number of applicants. Let's not. I know where this is going. I see 3 lines. It's like when you apply to a college and then you get back like a slip of paper. It just says Stanford College across the envelope, and it's just like it's a very thin envelope. They're not going to say, "Hey, you've been accepted. Your packet's on the way." This email. Listen, you got the job, but listen, hold on. We're sending you an even thicker email later on. We just wanted to tell you. Get excited. Tell your family. Oh my God. I just wish I'd rather just have the I don't know. Just send me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. There was also I did an interview for another job for a temporary job for the Atlanta Film Festival, and they were like, "We'll get back to you in 2 weeks." It's been 3 weeks, and they left me no way to contact them, which is fine. I don't want to work for that crap anyway. Why are there so many ads in my promotions now in Gmail? It's crazy. I see 4 different ads. Oh, you know what? Boom. My ad block was off. That's the reason. It was off because it gave me a message this morning. It's just a whole different thing. It was just like it just had for new permissions. I mean, I don't want it sitting in here with my receipt from ANC Theaters. Saw John Wick Chapter 4 yesterday. It's great. I enjoyed it. It's fantastic. 2.5 hours. Get my mind off of the real world. The TV show The Real World. I'm so addicted to watching it. Anyway, okay, that's it. That's all I got for you. It's so much more harder, and now that people are getting laid off, it's all the more difficult. And what sucks is that it's I don't know if it's going to get any better, because last time I was laid off, I was without a job for 8 months, and that was during a pandemic, and thank Christ it was, because at least for for however long 8 months is what I said before, but at least for a large period of that time, a large swath of that time, we were getting double the payments. What is it called? Not Social Security. Unemployment payments. And then and I think once or twice we got, besides that first $1,200, but once or twice we got like another couple $100 from the government. But now that's gone. And the only thing I have is people going, "But you're in the right place. You're a smart guy. You're going to do it." Just such bullshit. People who don't know anything. Yeah, I said it. Again, LinkedIn is the worst social network. I'd rather go on TikTok. Okay, listen, if you like what you heard here, don't know why you would, head on over to I'm sorry, I'm looking at LinkedIn right now. This guy's been without a job for 6 days. Oh, God. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. Of course he got severance. Anyway. I gotta call him out. Head on over to cpluscomedy.com, where you can listen to our other podcasts, The Constitutionals, which is our premier podcast. I talk about entertainment business news. You can listen to our late night podcast, which is Late Night Lately, where I talk about the best things that happen in late night of the week. And there's a monologue and a bunch of jokes that I write. If you want to see video version of the shows, you can head to youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can also watch our premiere show News Time, which is like the Daily Show, except way less funny. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at C+comedy. Follow me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends about it. And listen, if you're hiring for a job, literally any job right now, I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. Don't you dare listen to those other people. You don't hire them. You hire me, baby. I'm the good one. I'm smart. I'm strong. I can carry a conversation. I've done 257 episodes of the Constitutionals. Of course I could. I've done however many episodes of this. And the other show, Late Night Lately. That's hundreds and hundreds of hours of conversation with just myself. As well as comedians and other things. All right.